I tried building a faceless YouTube channel, starting from 0 views for 7 days, and I genuinely thought something would happen. Not something big, not viral, just some kind of signal that I was moving in the right direction. But instead, I kept running into the same problem over and over again. And it forced me to realize something that most YouTube advice completely ignores. Starting from zero is not the same as growing a channel. It's a completely different problem. Because when you have no audience, no subscribers, and no history, your issue isn't making better videos. Your issue is that nobody is seeing anything at all. And that changes everything about how you should approach this. Before this, I was doing what most people do. I was making videos, trying to improve them, trying to be more consistent, and hoping that eventually something would click. But when you actually look at that approach honestly, it's just guessing. There's no real strategy behind it, just effort without direction. So I decided to simplify everything and run a very clear test. 7 days, completely from zero, and focus on understanding what actually happens instead of just hoping for results. Because if I can't figure out how this works at the very beginning, then none of the later steps even matter. The first thing I noticed is that YouTube doesn't care about your effort. It doesn't care how long you spent editing, how much you improved your script, or how consistent you've been. The only thing it responds to is viewer behavior, and if there is no viewer, then there is no behavior to measure. That means at zero, your entire job is not to make great content. It's to make something that has a chance of being clicked by someone who has never seen you before. Because without that first click, nothing else can happen. No watch time, no retention, no growth, nothing. And this is where I realized I had been thinking about everything the wrong way. I was focusing on making videos that were good, but I wasn't focusing on making videos that were impossible to ignore. And those are two very different things. So I changed how I approached my titles and thumbnails completely. Instead of trying to be informative, I tried to create tension. Instead of explaining what the video is about, I focused on what would make someone curious enough to click. Because if they don't click, the rest of the video doesn't exist. That shift alone made me realize how competitive this actually is. Because you're not competing against bad videos, you're competing against the best option someone sees in that moment. And if your video doesn't stand out instantly, it gets ignored. At the same time, I realized something else that was just as important. Even if someone does click, if your video doesn't lead anywhere, it still doesn't matter. Because attention on its own doesn't create anything. It needs direction. And this is where most people, including me, get stuck. We focus on getting views, but we don't build anything behind those views. So even if something works, it doesn't turn into anything real. It just ends when the video ends. So I started thinking about this differently. Instead of asking how to get more views, I started asking what this video actually leads to. What is the next step for the person watching? What are they supposed to do after this? Because if there is no answer to that, then the video is just content. And content on its own does not make money. It just takes time. So now I'm focusing on something much smaller and much more practical. I'm trying to create one simple thing that someone would actually find useful. Not a big course, not something complicated, just something small that solves a real problem. Because if I can make something useful for one person, then I can repeat that. And if I can repeat it, then this becomes something real instead of just an idea. And this completely changes how I think about these videos. Now, every video has to do two things. It has to earn the click, and it has to lead somewhere. If it doesn't do both, then it's not good enough. And right now, I'm still at the beginning of that process. I'm still testing, still adjusting, still figuring out what actually works. But this is the first time it feels like there's a structure behind what I'm doing. Because before, I was just uploading videos. Now, I'm building something, even if it's small, and that difference is everything. So if you're starting from zero like I am, the goal isn't to grow fast or go viral. The goal is to figure out how this works at all. Because once you have that, everything else becomes a lot easier. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Not build a big channel, not chase views, but find one real signal that this direction is working. No more guessing.